Dennis Prager, creator of the right-wing Prager University, which is not a real university. It's in fact as much of a university as Trump University was, really hates not being able to say the N-word. Take a look.
You mentioned that President Truman used to use the N-word all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 seconds later, you followed it up with the word
Mm-hmm.
So
why didn't I say
K-word? Why didn't you say like the K-word?
Because the left has made it impossible to say the N-word any longer. That's disgusting. It's a farce. It's the only word that you can't say in the English language.
So then why is it okay to say the K-word?
Because the left doesn't give a damn about that word. Because that's why. The left runs the country in the culture. And the more the left controls, the more totalitarian it is. That is not an attack. It's a statement of fact, like 2 + 2 = 4. It is idiotic that you cannot say the N-word. Idiotic. Of course, you should never call anybody the N-word. That's despicable. But to say the word, you can't even say that the word is despicable. You have to say the N-word.
Okay, wow. So there's obviously a ton of ridiculous stuff to break down in that. But the fact that, oh no, liberals, we don't care about the other word, that anti-Semitic smear that I literally had to go and bleep out, which he had said. Yes, I cared so little about the use of that word that I had to go and censor that. Because leftists, we don't care at all about anti-Semitic slurs. Oh no, we're the anti-Semitic ones because we have an issue with the treatment of the Palestinians by the right-wing Israeli government. Dennis Prager is an idiot. All right, anyway, moving on, right? Now he says the left has made it impossible to say the N-word. No, you can say it. No, you can say it all day. You can go on the corner and scream out the N-word if you want to. You're allowed to do that. The government's not going to come down there and place a black bar over your mouth and then blare out beeps every time you say it. No, you can say it. You can say it. You're not going to get in trouble for saying it. I mean, there will be some people that are obviously upset at you, but you're Dennis Prager. You're a tough guy, right? You're a right winger, and so you don't have to worry about what those snowflakes say, getting all offended by the N-word. Oh, no, you don't have to worry about any of that. No, here's the thing that Dennis Prager and these right-wingers want. They want to say the word without consequences. And that's the issue, right? So now when he talks about, oh, you can't even say the word to say that it's a bad word. Yes, actually you can. It really does depend on the context. So if you're saying, look, I think the N-word's bad. Okay, and you say it in context. Hey, that's a terrible statement. That's obviously racist and etc. Well, then everybody knows what you're saying. You're not going to get crap for it, right? But why is there such a fascination with the right wing wanting to say that word? Why? Why is it something that they can't? They're like, oh, I'm so mad. I can't say that word. I just really want to say it. I really want to yell it out. No, it's because he wants to. He wants to say. I know he says, well, obviously I'd never call someone that word. Then why are you so hung up on wanting to say it? Again, normal people don't want to say that word unless they want to use it as a slur because that's what it is. That's what it is. Again, if you quote it in context, as I have on this show, I have said that word on the show when I have quoted right-wing figures who use that word as a slur. Quoted them in context. Nobody comes after me for it. I'm just as pasty as Dennis Prager. What matters is the context and how you use it. And Dennis Prager is acting like, oh no, there's no context that exists whatsoever. If you say the word as I want to say it, well, then I'm going to get in trouble. I don't like that. And so I want the freedom that, this is what free speech means to them, right? Free speech means I can go and say any damn thing I want, and I am free from consequences. And that's it. And I'm not talking about government consequences. The government's not going to come and shut them down, right? Oh, how dare you, Dennis Prager? What are you going to do? Like, I could say that on my show, and I will get demonetized because, of course, that, people don't like hearing that word, right? That's a consequence of that free speech. Again, Dennis Prager says, I don't want any consequences. The right wing say, I don't want any consequences for the speech. I don't want any negative thing. I just want to say whatever I want. I want to slur. I want to hurl slurs at people, and I don't care how they feel. I just want to say it, and he can't wait to say it. That's the whole movement here. Yeah, as Brandon Donato in the chat says, it's freedom from getting dunked on. And he's absolutely right. Absolutely right. And see, this is their whole problem with the political correctness. And this is what's part of it, right? You don't know what the real definition of political correctness is? It's basically when the Nazis say, we don't want you saying facts because facts make us look bad, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to force you by gunpoint to say things that are not true, but are politically correct for us, that make us look good. They're not factually correct. They're politically correct. That's what the right wing likes to do now. So all those news reporters back then were forced to be, politically correct, not factually correct. So Prager, I don't think he's a fan of actual free speech. I think it's just a cover that they use to advocate for the use of hateful incendiary language without having to face any sort of personal or professional consequences for using said language. Because, look, that's who they are. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a patreon.com/TYTNation set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.